crush, crumble, and chop. Thimbrin rose to his feet with as much dignity as he could muster.
"Not good enough for your precious engineers guild, eh?"
he grated.
"Well, it's no hair off my chin."
He paused to adjust the back of his jerkin, where the sodden cloth was sticking to his skin.
"And I hope your little ritual made you feel suitably important. By stone and steel, it showed the hide-bound, frightened shower of fossils you are. Yeah, frightened. You'd sooner shave than have an idea. Tradition. You keep on. Where was tradition when we first took Mithril and worked it? Where was tradition when the great arches of Zufbar were built, like nothing that's ever been seen before, or since? Tradition. Blah, he spat. It's stagnation you're building. If you really want to vanish down your own bellow holes, that's your decision. I'll make my machines without the Engineers Guild, and cave-ins take the lot of you."
He woke abruptly as the snake tightened its grip on his throat. Damn that dream. It did it every time.
What a life,
he thought as he prized it off, for her being throttled by her own beard. He reached under his bunk, snatched up one of the small skittering things that lived there, and fed it to the snake that sprouted from his chin. It seemed to calm it down.
"Well," he said to himself, "I might as well have breakfast too."
From a cluster of pots he collected 2 handfuls of things, better left undescribed, and sat down to eat. He was about halfway through his meal when somebody entered. However the term someone can be applied to the huge dog-faced black-armoured figure that towered over him.
"Come,"
it snarled.
"It is time for the bloodletting."
The dwarf nodded and left his meal. The champion of chaos followed as he made his preparations. First, he went into a workshop, where a dozen or so dwarfs were working feverishly. All bore the mark of chaos in some manner.
"Time to go, boys," he called. "Take everything that's finished and everything you can finish on the march."
He crossed the workroom to a line of machines which stood ready.
"Simple but effective," he said to the Chaos Warrior. "As you can see, we've got 2 types completed. The Whirlwind with its big rotating blades and flails, and the Tenderizer with a bank of trip hammers and heavy maces. Simply get them going fast, and they'll carve you several nice big ragged holes in enemy ranks. I'm working on a number of other ideas, of course, but these are what I have ready at the moment."
The champion of chaos walked around the 2 machines, examined the spiked blades, flails, and hammers.
"Great bloodletting,"
he murmured to himself, reverently touching the skull rune of corn on his breastplate.
"Much blood for the blood god."
"Come along," said Thimbrin cheerfully. "Let's meet the crews. I'm rather pleased with them. Made them myself, you know, in a manner of speaking." He led the armoured figure through a series of passages into another large chamber, where 2 or 3 dozen forms lay sleeping. Thimbrin took a horn from a hook on the wall, and blew a long, echoing blast. The sleepers awoke and began strapping on armour. As they moved, their forms could be seen. From the waist up, they were Chaos Dwarfs, but they had the bodies and 4 trotted legs of boars.
"Boar centaurs,"
Thimbrin explained.
"1 per machine. Fast, strong, and full of fight. Ideal for the job. Just a case of finding the right combinations of mutations and sticking with them. We should be ready to march within the hour. Can I offer you some refreshment while we wait? I'm sure we can rustle up some blood from somewhere."
The defending army was formed up and waiting. Elves, dwarfs, and humans all knew that they must win this day, or let chaos break through into the Forest of Shadows and the Middle Mountains. The ogre mercenaries were no less determined. Their plates had been filled, and their fighting reputation was at stake. Over the crest of the rise, the forces of chaos came into view, rank by rank. There were black-armoured things on warped, various-legged mounts, towering beastmen of all shapes and sizes and colours, and around them, like a rolling sea, seethed a press of other things. Chaos spawn. But all eyes were on the machines which rolled before the Chaos Pack. They advanced in single rank, the width of the Chaos Army, with their spiked 2-wheeled frames, their whirling blades, and their thrashing hammers. The elven archers and dwarven crossbows loosed 2 volleys before falling back to their pre-arranged positions. The missiles had little effect, the bulk of them thudding harmlessly into the grotesque carved panels which shielded each machine. The machines began to gather speed. As they approached, their crews could be seen, centauroid creatures, an unnatural blend of dwarf and boar. They ran almost as fast as a charging horse, handling the machines as easily as a gardener uses a wheelbarrow. The machines ploughed sickeningly into the ogre mercenaries which held the centre. Blades and flails whirled, hammers and maces thrashed. Flesh and sinew shredded, bone and iron shattered. For all their strength and courage, the ogres were decimated in a matter of seconds. The centre was now dangerously weak. With the ogres effectively destroyed, the full force of the enemy would now fall on the human contingent, and chaos could break through the centre before the flanks could move to reinforce it. The advantage now lay with chaos.